will give you, but I feel like it's something you should definitely know about if you plan on going to Germany or just to know in general. So a couple of quick facts. In German it's Bundesrepublik Deutschland, and so we are all this over here, right in the middle of Europe. We have 9 border countries with Poland, Czechia, Austria, Switzerland, France, Luxembourg, Belgium, and the Netherlands, and Denmark at the top. 2 coasts, the North Sea and the Baltic Sea over here. We have about 82 million inhabitants, and the largest city is the capital, Berlin, with about 3.5 million inhabitants. We have a couple more cities with over 1 million, but that's pretty much it. And then, as in the other European countries, the rest of the cities is a lot smaller. The total area is 137,000 square miles, roughly, and it's a founding member of the NATO, of the European Union, and also a member of the NATO. It's Europe's largest economy and also largest population. And the highest point is the Zugspitze, which is down here in the Alps, with almost 3,000 meters or 9,700 feet. So now to German's history. It all started out, it isn't too old, Germany, the country itself, with Otto von Bismarck, who united a lot of municipalities and small kingdoms to just form one nation. This nation quickly became one of the largest or fastest growing economies in Europe. And then Germany had an alliance with Austria-Hungary, and as the Austro-Hungarian prince, or Archduke Franz Ferdinand, was assassinated in Serbia, that started a war between Serbia and Austria-Hungary, and since we were allied with them, we also had to fight in that war. After defeat, the victors imposed their terms on the losers, as it so often happens, and created new country lines and imposed reparations on the losing nations. And this was called the Treaty of Versailles, and it had a huge impact on the rise of the Nazi Party, which we'll learn about in a little bit. So the phase between World War I and II was the Weimar Republic, and there was a lot of discontent in the German population because of the authorities that accepted the terms of the Treaty of Versailles. And so the Nazi Party more or less used that and the hyperinflation, rebuilding economy, as it is after world wars, and to basically gain power. And then Adolf Hitler was elected into this chancellor position. He called it a state of emergency, gained more power and autonomy, overthrew the rest of the government more or less. This is really short, don't quote me on this one. And he tried to improve his influence, started invading Poland, and then USA, France, Great Britain, and Soviet Russia defeated Germany, Italy, and Japan, and started occupying the rest of Germany. So Germany was separated into 4 parts. The parts of Great Britain, the US, and France were sort of all together, and then Soviet Russia and the US had to fight out their Cold War, and kind of made an example of Germany and tried to demonstrate their power and influence by showing which part of Germany would be the better one. And eventually, under communist lead of East Germany, which is also called in Germany the DDR, so Democratic Republic of Germany, had a lot of trouble economically, and people tried to leave. This is when they built the wall and enforced the border harder, so people would not leave the country. And then after a lot of protests on both sides of the country, finally in 1989, they tore down the wall and agreed to unify the both parts of Germany again. And to this day, we still have a little bit of disparities between the 2 parts of Germany, but we're getting there. And well, living there in both parts is the same, it's just a little bit of infrastructure is still being built. Now to the more fun part, to the cultural differences. You might recognize a lot of stuff my other European friends said earlier. Everything actually is bigger. Definitely drinking age in Germany, if you like the 18 stuff, we start drinking at 16 with beer and wine, and then at 18 you can drink everything. Public drinking is not encouraged, but definitely allowed, and so you can see on the weekends just people sitting in parks, just start drinking before they go to a club or a bar. And actually there's a lot more clubs than compared to over here. You guys have a lot more bars. Initially people are not as open and friendly. They might seem a little bit cold to you, but once they get to know you, they are really going to help. And if they promise to do something, for example, I told my roommate, yeah, I'll help you move in. And then he was really surprised when I was actually helping him moving in. Because he was like, oh, people just say that. No, we actually mean that. And also appointments and punctuality is very important. We have also a lot of bikes and public transportation. It's a lot more developed, and if you live in the city, that's usually how you get around, because it's just faster with the car. There's not as much public patriotism. especially for example sporting events, there's at no point people sing the national anthem before a sporting event. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't happen. It's very different. And we found a bigger focus on goals and careers over here. It's more like set out plans. So, oh, I'll go to this college and then do this internship and go to that company. And in Germany, I feel like it's more about, so I will study this degree, and after I finish, I will reevaluate. I will see what I like, what I found out about myself. And then we also have different seasons. So actually not just warm and not as warm, but like fall and spring and all that stuff where the leaves change. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. And today would actually be probably the best day of winter in Germany. And oh yeah, now I have a couple, if you guys have any questions, let me know. And other than that, I have a couple of pictures. So we got some nice castles. This is in the capital city in Berlin, Brandenburger Tor. And this is actually the town, the city hall of my hometown. And so what you see down here, there's a small lake, and then here on the grass, people just sit and drink on the weekends. Up there is Hamburg as well. And then just some inner city pictures with like smaller houses and not as many skyscrapers. There's only a couple of cities that really have that. And then a couple more pictures here, really nice, also more traditional and not really ancient, but older buildings. And just one, oh yeah, a little bit more nature, which we also have, which is really nice, especially in the south with the Bavarian forest and the Alps. It's really beautiful. And just to end things, this small video. No, oh, why is this Chile? Where did my video go? Let's see. Just a couple of impressions of Germany.
Deutschland von oben. Viele von uns kennen unser Land aus der Perspektive der Vögel. Vom Kölner Dom über die Queen Mary in Hamburg. Von den Wolkenkratzern Frankfurts bis zur Zugspitze. Kommen Sie mit auf eine Flugreise über Stadt, Land, Fluss und Meer. 3 Folgen lang können Sie höher hinaus als die Steinböcke in den Alpen oder die Wolken über dem Königssee. Ein neuer Blick auf Altvertrautes. Es ist die Magie der Distanz. Es ist die erhabene Perspektive des Steinadlers im Berchtesgadener Land. Oder der Storchs in der Elbtalaue. Oder der Kraniche am Möhnesee. Ein Blick, für den manche von uns Pilot werden. Oder von Hochhäusern springen. Ein fremder Blick auf das Land, in dem wir leben. GPS-basierte Animationen werden Ihnen zeigen, wie viele Flugzeuge über uns unterwegs sind. Oder wo unsere Robben in Nordfriesland auf die Jagd gehen. Wenn Sie nicht gerade vermissen, fliegen Sie also mit und entdecken Sie ein unbekanntes Land. Deutschland von oben.
Thank you very much.